I knew the Char Futur 4 was going to be a strong tier 9, but I didn't know just how strong it was going to be. However, after playing about 30 games in the tank, I think I have finally been able to unravel just how important and influential this tank is in a skilled player's hands. So, in today's video, I'm going to be showcasing two of the better replays I've been able to perform in this tank throughout the past 30 games, and just illustrate why the Char Futur 4 might just be the new top dog in tier 9. I can tell you for a fact that in a skilled player's hands, this is probably the deadliest tier 9, and not only that, but it is just such a fun tank to drive. It's got 340 alpha, which allows you to easily trade with even tier 10 mediums. It's got really good accuracy, great DPM, and add that into the fact it's a very small profile. It's just incredible. So here we are on Dead Rail. This is a tier 8 game, and the other replay you're going to look at is a tier 8 battle as well. It makes sense that you're going to get easier farms and better victories in tier 8 games than probably tier 10. But even with that aside, I can tell you for a fact, even against the tier 10, it just does so dang well. So you can see we've already been able to bleed the Astron Rex just a bit, 652 as of right now. Not much has happened though, it's the first minute of the game has passed, and our T-34-2 is playing quite aggressive. The good news is that the 34-2 is able to shoot that Astron down to almost a one-shot for us. So at this point, I'm hoping that I can get some big, nasty nukes in. So our T-34-2 gets slapped because he's spotted, but the good news is that we get a shell in. I'm just kind of hoping the 34-2 finishes off the Astron, and well, that's not very good. The other problem is that this guy's now going to get beamed by not only the Astron, but other people on the other side. So, yeah, that's not very good for the 34-2. We're up to just 1,000 damage at this point, and we're at probably the best position we can be in for this game. I like to call this the Goldilocks position, where you've got a bunch of heavy spotted off to the side, and you're in a medium or light that has really good DPM. And if you can work the gun, then oh my, does it feel strong. So we're aiming on the Moistion's turret cheek, get a nice pen. Now we're up to 1,600 damage. And let's see, we got the TNH. Alright, there you go. Very easy slap through the train rail into his tank. Well, let's see if we can get another slap out. Unfortunately, we are not able to see him at this current angle, but if we back up just a little bit, there you go. Now we can get another easy shell into the TNH. So now we're up to 2,300. Okay, well, the TNH shows me his rear, and this is where that .299 dispersion just easily slips those shells into our opponents. So the Moistion's going to aim it on the 34-2. He doesn't get the kill, but that's fine with me because we slam a shell right into his lower plate through the rails. We're almost at 3,000 damage now. We got the E75 showing me the side of his turret, so there you go, breaking the 3,000 damage mark now. We've still got a pretty healthy Type 68 to farm, and we still got a pretty healthy E75, so let's get a shell into him again. I mean, just look at this thing's accuracy. It's insane. The fact that this gun just hits every single shell, and it hits so hard with such a fast reload, it just feels great. So now we're up to 3,700 damage, and we got a full health Type 68 to farm. So there you go, another nice shell into his vehicle. Alright, let's reload again, and bonk. There you go. Did have to load heat to confirm the pen, but that's fine. We still got a pretty decent roll into his tank, and we'd have to shoot another shell to finish him off anyway, which we did right there. Now we can see the enemy SU-122 has realized his fate is basically sealed. We're going to get behind him, and one thing that a lot of people don't realize, as probably the most dangerous thing about the Char, is the HE. If you can get to weak reared opponents like the SU, you have 450 HE potential, which means right now I have over 5,000 damage per minute with Adrenaline activated. We just brought a full health SU-122 down to 0 with 4 shots. That is insane when you think about it. Just showcases what the Char can do. At this point, we're up to 6,427 damage. But we got one tank left, being the enemy ISU-152. So we're going to aim it on his lower plate, and bonk. Just like that, 6,767 damage to finish off this game. And this was a farm and a half. And it showcases just how dang deadly the Char can be when put into a situation to farm opponents. It's just crazy. We did more than our entire team added up and then doubled, which is just ridiculous. So that first game there is a great showcase of the Char's insane DPM capabilities. So up against us, we got an E50, Object 84, and a TNH VZ51. Okay, well, they got some pretty decent tier 9s. I'm not too worried about the TNH. What I was mostly worried about is, you'll notice I have a stock Skoda T50, and I have a stock Leopard PTA. So basically, all the tier 9s on my team are stock. which is not good. So, yeah, that's pretty bad. But we're going to make our way wide towards A, and we're going to see if I can get any early game shots off. In a Tier 8 game, I'm going to try and use the mobility advantage of this tank, which it does have a lot of. 60 kilometers per hour is fantastic. So we got the E50 spotted. Unfortunately, we were not able to hit him there, but that's fine. We're going to back up so that the TVP V2 can't hit us, and just like that, we're doing okay. Alright, let's get a nice shell into his track wheel. Bit of a low roll, but that's fine. A pen is a pen, so I can't complain all too much. Got the Object 84, which we're also able to get a nice slap right into the turret on. The Object turret is super troll to aim at, and I'm never really sure if it's going to pen or not due to the way it's designed and the way it's angled. It's just really, really tricky, so that's one thing I'm always a little kerfuffled about. We're up to 600 damage right now, which isn't anything insane, but because we have so much DPM, it just takes one mistake, like this Jagdpanther 2 driving out in the open, for us to get a pretty solid farm out. So this Jagdpanther allows us to get 2 shells into his tank, and just like that, we're now up to 1,350 damage, which is pretty solid. Okay, well, I want to deal with this Jagdpanther, but at the same time, I know that the thing actually has really good DPM, like 3,300 and 460 damage per shot. So I don't want to put myself in a position where the Jagdpanther 2 can farm me. So right now, we're just going to play it calm. Jagdpanther's going to overpoke a little bit, and we're going to aim in on his upper plates. Now, the nice thing is I know I out-reload him because we are a lower alpha, 120 lower, so I was pretty confident, even with that Jagdpanther having adrenaline on, that we'd get the reload, which we were able to. So at this point, we're up to 2,150 damage. We got the Semovente in front of us, and that is a pretty big threat. The thing's got great DPM and decent armor frontally, so I have to be careful. So right now, we're not going to deal with the Semovente. We're going to ignore him and try and deal with the Object 84, who makes a massive misplay, trying to go low to kill somebody. Now, I guess it's not a misplay to do that, because he does get the clear. The problem is now he's on the lower ground, and I'm able to just sit above him and get some nice shots in. So we've gotten a nice 2,800 at this point. The Object 84, the biggest threat, has been bled a bit, and we get a nice shot into the Semovente. Okay, we're over 3,000 damage at this point, but we're not done. We're going to try and get a shell into the Object. Unfortunately, our shell does miss his hatch by a little bit. Honestly, in reality, I just shouldn't have pushed over there. Probably would have been a lot smarter to stay up top here, because we're going to be detected for 20 seconds. But we do have the Charioteer, and as you can see, the Object shoots the Charioteer. So at this point, I realize it's worth it to bleed a bit of health to the Semovente if I can get the clearing shot on the enemy Object. So we pretend we're going to go one way, then we turn the other. We use our adrenaline. This is the perfect time to use adrenaline as well, so we can clear the sky as fast as possible to make our way over and help the ISU. So we're up to 4,000 damage at this point, and the enemy team has a full health TNH. Alright, well that's rather interesting. We're going to try and get some shells into that TNH if we can. Now we're only at 500 health, which means 2 shells from that player can easily kill me. He won't kill me with one shot, even with the max roll. It's going to be pretty hard to kill me, but still, I have to be very cautious. So we're going to hesitantly make our way up here and see if we can spot the TNH. Oh, there he is. Okay. Well, I know that it's not a smart idea to poke him here. We don't have the health to him. We don't have the turret armor. This thing has like negative armor on the turret. But the ISU is staring down this alleyway. So if we can bait this guy into the ISU, we'll have a pretty good position. There you go. TNH drives right into our trap, and now he turns to look at the ISU, which allows us to get an easy shell in. And now because he's overturned his turret so much, I'm just going to drive around him here and get another easy pen in, just like that. We're at 354 for that shot, and we've dealt 4,888 damage. We're going to aim in one more shell on the TNH, and just like that, we're now at 5,279. And our ISU is going to finish him off. So, there you have it. This is the Char Futur 4. A vehicle that, wow, if used correctly, just does insane. Right now, my statistics in the tank are pretty ludicrous. I mean, with games like that, they would have to be. I'm at 3,535 average damage with a 74% win rate. I mean, this is tier 10 levels of average damage that I'm averaging in a tier 9. That is just crazy. So, I truly believe that the Char Futur 4 currently is one of the best tier 9s in the game when you add in the mobility, the armor. And when I say armor, I mean the fact that you can't HE it very easily, at least. Like, the lower plate is an HE pen, but the engine deck is super troll, and same for the turret, you're not going to be able to high explosive pen it. So it actually makes the tank pretty tricky. Side armor is actually spaced for the most part, so it's also going to be hard to pen it with HE in the sides. So because of that, the Char actually has pretty solid armor. It's just the rear that's really bad on the armor. But yeah, the Char, decent armor for what it is. Kind of reminds me of the Barask. The gun is incredible. It's a really nice tank. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.